Thorfinn was just a kid, living the good life in Iceland, surrounded by the beauty of nature and the warmth of his community. Imagine a land of ice and fire, with massive volcanoes and glaciers, a place where the elements themselves tell stories of ancient times. That's where he called home, a small village nestled in the rugged landscape. His village was tucked away in a peaceful valley surrounded by nature's splendor, a haven of tranquility. Life was simple, full of laughter and games with his friends, days spent exploring and nights filled with stories. He had no idea about the world outside, the good and the bad, the adventures and the dangers that lay beyond the horizon. But all that was about to change as the winds of fate began to stir.
You see, Thorfinn's dad, Thors, was a legend, a name spoken with reverence and awe. He was a warrior, a true Viking, but he'd hung up his axe for a quiet life, seeking peace over glory. He wanted something different for Thorfinn, a life of peace, far from the chaos of battle. He'd tell Thorfinn stories about faraway lands, adventures waiting to be had, igniting a spark of curiosity in the young boy.
Thorfinn, like any kid, loved these stories, his imagination running wild with each tale. He dreamt of sailing with his dad, exploring the world, seeing the places he'd only heard about in stories. He had no idea how quickly things can change, how swiftly peace can turn to turmoil. The peace they knew wouldn't last. As the shadows of conflict began to loom, the shadow of war was approaching, ready to turn their world upside down, bringing with it a storm that would change everything. Thors had a past he tried to forget. He used to be a Jomsviking, the toughest of Viking warriors. Imagine a brotherhood bound by battle, their names striking fear into the hearts of their enemies. Thors was the best of them. But he'd left all that behind, searching for peace in Iceland.
He thought he'd escaped the fighting, but the past has a way of catching up. News arrived in their village, whispers of a war brewing. The Jomsvikings were preparing for battle and they needed their champion, their legendary leader, Thors. He knew he couldn't hide. Honor and duty called to him.
A ship appeared on the horizon, a Viking longship, sleek and deadly, cutting through the waves with purpose. It carried hardened warriors, their faces grim and determined, ready for the brutal war that awaited them. At their head was Askeladd, a cunning and ambitious leader whose reputation for strategy and ruthlessness was well known. He'd come for Thors, the legendary warrior, to bring him back into the fold of battle and conquest. Thors, sensing danger in the air, agreed to meet, his instincts sharp and unerring. He knew it could be a trap, but his honor and courage wouldn't allow him to back down.
Leaving Thorfinn in the village, promising to return, Thors went to face his destiny, a heavy heart masked by a brave face. The meeting took place on a desolate shore, the air thick with tension and the promise of violence. Askeladd spoke with smooth words, his voice calm and persuasive, but his eyes betrayed his true, deadly intentions. He wouldn't let Thors leave alive, his mind set on eliminating the threat.
A fight broke out, a clash of titans, each blow echoing the ferocity of their spirits. Thors, even in his older age, fought with incredible strength and unmatched skill, a true warrior to the end. But Askeladd resorted to trickery, striking Thors down when he least expected it, a cowardly yet effective move. Thorfinn, watching from a distance, saw his father fall, his young heart breaking with each passing second. Rage and grief washed over him, emotions too powerful for his young mind to fully comprehend. He vowed to get revenge, a promise forged in the fires of his pain and loss. He would kill Askeladd and avenge his father, no matter the cost, no matter the time it took. Consumed by hatred and a burning desire for vengeance, Thorfinn snuck onto Askeladd's ship under the cover of darkness. He was just a boy, driven by pure rage and the memory of his father's death. Askeladd, intrigued by Thorfinn's defiance and spirit, decided to let him stay on the ship. He saw potential in the boy, a weapon to be molded and sharpened for future battles.
Askeladd took Thorfinn under his wing, training him rigorously in the art of war and combat. He turned Thorfinn's rage into a weapon, honing his skills with relentless training and discipline. Thorfinn grew up fast on that ship, surrounded by violence and the harsh realities of Viking life. He became a warrior himself, feared for his speed, ferocity, and unyielding determination in battle. But his heart was cold, filled only with the desire for revenge and the memory of his father's death. He lived for the day he would face Askeladd, to fulfill the vow he made on that fateful day, to avenge his father.